So, prior to looking at this, make sure you've already looked at conversational past with regards to regular verbs, because now we're going to look at irregular verbs. These are the crazy ones. So, in the present perfect tense or the conversational past, as always, we want to make sure that we include two things. We're looking for a helping verb, and we need a past participle. Now, here are three fun facts to know about the ones with irregular verbs. First, they're not just haben. It could be haben or sein as the helping verb. So that's something that's a little different from the regular verbs. The second thing is that the past participle does not follow this pattern. So the past participle itself is going to be different. And so, ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, you just have to learn them. Sorry. So, um, things to consider. Moving from present to present perfect tense. As we've looked at before, we need a helping verb and we need a past participle. So, I said you just have to learn them. That means, in the meantime, until you have any of them memorized or you're used to using them over and over again, you're going to have to look them up. Now, I've been utilizing German for a while now, so I know what they are, so just kind of trust me as we go through these exercises. So, finden uses haben, so you would say hat, and it's not gefindet. Remember, these are different. They don't follow that pattern. It's hat Gold gefunden. Now, the great thing about German is since English is a Germanic language, many of these irregulars sound like irregular verbs in English too. We didn't say he finded gold. We would say in English he found gold. So if you think about it that way, finden, gefunden makes a lot of sense, right? And oftentimes it's just a matter of changing a verb. Also notice that this does not have a T ending. A lot of the irregulars stick with en endings in their past participle. So, kind of piggybacking off of what I said, right? These are these are vowel changes. That's what happens in a lot of these. So, let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? So, helfen is geholfen. Singen is gesungen. And trinken is getrunken. So, vowel changes E to O, E to U, I to U. Helfen geholfen, singen gesungen, trinken getrunken. Finden gefunden. Now, some of them actually do take T endings. Now, that doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does. So let's take a look at these, shall we? Bringen, gebracht, denken, gedacht, kennen, gekannt, and wissen, gewusst. So once again, I know these because I've been using them for a while. So these not only have the stem vowel change, but they have a T ending. So none of this en stuff. All of these have T for an ending. So go ahead and repeat after me. Wiederholt. Helfen geholfen. Singen gesungen. Trinken getrunken. Bringen gebracht. Denken gedacht. Kennen gekannt. Wissen gewusst. Now, one of the major things that happens with irregular verbs is they're not always haben. They do oftentimes take sein. That is when they indicate motion or change. and that means there's no direct object, so they're um, intransitive. So that means all of these, when we learn them, have ist as a kind of counterpart here for a helping verb. So let's go ahead and fill those in. So east, east, oops, east, 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 east. So that'll just kind of help us there. All right, so sein, a little crazy here, is sein ist gewesen. So when you learn it as ist gewesen. That ist is going to remind you, ding, 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 don't use haben, use sein. Gehen is ist gegangen. Once again, remember, I just know these. You're just going to have to trust me and kind of memorize as you go. Laufen, gelaufen. Oh, sorry. Well, we'll go over them in a second. Fahren ist gefahren. Kommen ist gekommen. Und bleiben, this one's a little tricky. Bleiben ist geblieben. Oops. Okay. So, go ahead and repeat after me. Sein ist gewesen. Gehen ist gegangen. Laufen ist gelaufen. Fahren ist gefahren. Kommen ist gekommen. Bleiben ist geblieben. Just kind of overemphasizing that. That happens a lot with irregulars. The IE and EIs switch. What about separable prefixes? So, mitbringen, aufmachen, ankommen. Right, these are all separable prefixes. This is kind of interesting. The ge goes in between. So mitbringen is mit. And then if you remember, bringen is gebracht. So mitgebracht. Aufmachen. Machen is regular. Machen gemacht. So it's aufgemacht. And I know my penmanship's not the best right now with the mouse, but note that this is a one word, no spaces. Ankommen. Kommen, if you look backwards, kommen is ist gekommen. So that means this is going to be ist angekommen. So watch out for that with separable prefix verbs. Now, go ahead and try this. Look up the verbs you don't know. If you're in class, you probably have a handout. Make sure you watch out for these verbs. Essen, trinken, sind, bleiben, and habe. And go ahead and pause and resume when you're ready to check your answers. Wir haben nur Brot gegessen und Wasser getrunken. Essen gegessen, trinken getrunken. Sind ist gewesen, so wir sind. Ich esse, ich bin, du bist, er, sie, es ist. Wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind. So conjugate to be. Wir sind nicht auf dem Markt gewesen. Bleiben ist geblieben. Heidi ist zu Hause geblieben. Und ich habe nur wenige Lebensmittel im Haus. Ich habe nur wenige Lebensmittel im Haus gehabt. Cool. Dankeschön.